very, very long time. It feels like it's the culmination of your life up to now. Do you want to talk about just where you began with this project and what you were hoping for?
Sure. Well, I'm not sure what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, let's see where I start.
I know, right?
I grew up in a trailer across the street from my elementary school, and it burned down when I was in kindergarten, and we lost all of our home videotapes. So I think that has had some sort of impact early on to where I always wanted to document every day.
Wanted to hold on to everything.
Yeah, and why I think the format's really nostalgic for me. And I grew up in a skateboard culture, raised on music videos, and grew up. And then when I was in college, my mom passed away, unfortunately. And then I just sort of got into a scurry to take care of myself because I didn't really have the fallback. And
did you find the film itself became a coping mechanism?
well, I got into grad school was my way to get away and have healthcare and stuff for a little while. And yeah. And then when I got there, I really just wanted to look back on all this personal archive that I had, which was a combination of all the stuff we used to do as a kid, like 38mm reels of my dad that I'd never seen. And also just, I try to film something every day. So it's just synthesizing all of those. And I started that in 2013, and over the course I just I kept refining it. And it's like a 3-year process. I finished it last spring. I did a residency with the Nickelodeon Theater in Columbia, South Carolina. And I think it really provided me the time to finish going through the archive. And there's been screenings elsewhere too, and I think that feedback always helps.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
How well have you archived all of your footage since childhood? Is it just a mess like mine always is?
Oh, is it organized?
Yeah, have you kept track of it?
It could be better. I think digital and not having tape or small gauge is making it really hard to keep up. And not, I don't know, I feel like I probably shoot too much now.
It's easy when you have a digital and then you can just offload everything. Do you want to talk about the editing? I mean, how long, so you've been editing that many years. Were you always thinking, I'm sure you found it in the process, but I just love that the turn that the film makes into this very hopeful sense at the end. Is that something, did you end it earlier and find maybe you wanted to add on this new piece of yourself? Or did you always sort of hope that it would end in a different way?
Yeah, I think it wasn't constantly editing for 3 years. It was more of a project because I think American society practices, it's so fast paced. It doesn't really give people the time to mourn or grieve, and that's a huge problem to me at least. And I think as I started to make sense of all the material, I felt what was probably the most standout moment was when I was spreading my mother's ashes on my dad's grave, and the context of the trees that she had planted. So really trying to build around that, giving context up to that moment, so you could digest it and ruminate on it, but also having some sort of denouement. I think that song, it's beautiful, but it's also kind of cynical in some ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just felt like a good fit.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
I'd like to congratulate you on being so brave to do something like this. At the end, maybe I missed it, but there are no credits. Is that right? Just curious.
No, it just didn't feel right. Okay. And part of me feels like it could be on a loop because it starts and ends with a white screen.
Anyone else? Yeah.
So you had the little title. So I'm just wondering if you had the footage and then added the title, or you got the title and found the footage to fit to the title.
I added the titles in just for, because back to the editing question, part of it was just watching the footage and then letting yourself daydream and take notes and having these sort of extremely conscious. And I think it goes for so long, but then you kind of need a reset button. And instead of just having
contextualizes
everything.
Yeah.
And so you get a break, a little bit of context to kind of help you with the next section. And I think everything sort of calls back.
After working on something for so long, are you do you feel you're ready to like walk away from this and like be rid of it, or?
Yeah, I mean, like this is done. I feel like it took a while, but it feels done. And I work in the meantime too. It's not like the only thing I've been doing. Like I finished another film during the residency.
Oh, great.
Which is about the flooding that happened in South Carolina in October 2015. And
is that film out, or are you working on it?
I'm slowly getting out.
Okay, great. Any final questions? Yes.
Was there found footage in there at all, or was that all?
Yeah, is it all
you
yours?
All, I would just say not all that I shot necessarily, because there's certainly moments where people had the camera, but I would say it's all of the personal archive.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.